Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Monday morning message. And this morning, I was guided to Denise Lynn's The Gateway Oracle. And the card we have is so perfect because it just goes so well with the energies for this week. And our card is Listening with Your Heart. And our affirmation is, I trust the messages I receive from my heart. So what does it mean to listen with your heart? To listen with your heart really just means that you are listening to the call for love. Now, our minds have a tendency, like when we're listening with our minds, we're kind of picking out key words, picking out key phrases, and not really listening to the intent of the message that's being given to us. We're more looking at the content, like, okay, here's the due date, here's the this, here's the that. And also, when we're listening with our minds, we are very apt to judge. Oh my gosh, they're talking so slow. Oh my gosh, why can't they just get to the point? So forth and so on. When we listen with our hearts, what we're really doing is we're listening to the intent of the message. We are listening for that call for love, or we're listening for the love that is coming through that person's message or to us, even if it's just about a meeting, even if it's about, this or that. We're listening with love, which means we're listening with acceptance. We are listening we're listening with that idea of allowing ourselves to really just be present. Because when we're listening with our heart, we're present with the messages. We're present with that person. We're not thinking about what we should do or what we have to do or what we're going to do 10 minutes from now or what we did 2 hours from now or from this time. We are just present in that moment. And so the questions that we can ask ourselves for today: what or whom do I need to listen to? And again, what or whom do I need to listen to with my heart, with openness, with acceptance? Is there an area of my life in which I need to listen to my heart rather than to my mind? And there's a great exercise you can do that I learned a while ago from Sonia Choquette. And a very simple way to start listening with your heart, or to listen to the message of your heart, is merely to put your hands either over the center of your chest or your actual heart. Either one, doesn't matter. And you just begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose. And you're doing it, this breath is taken slowly, deeply, and completely. So on the count of 3, let's go ahead and take that slow, complete breath, really filling our diaphragm, filling our bellies with air. So ready? 3, 2, and 1. Let's breathe in. We're going to hold it just for about 3 seconds. And now we're going to let it out the mouth, but very slowly. And again, breathing in through the nose. Holding it for just 3 seconds. And then letting it out the mouth. And again, in through the nose. Holding it. And then we're letting it out the mouth, but this time we're going to let out the sound. Really feel your body relax. Feel your consciousness going into your heart. And now from this space, with your eyes closed, you can just ask, if there was a message that my heart wanted to deliver to me, What would it be? My heart says. And then maybe there's going to be an image that's going to appear in your mind. Maybe there's going to be a feeling. Maybe there's going to be a word. Maybe there's going to be a phrase. Maybe it's going to be a scent. Maybe it's going to be a taste. Maybe there's going to be a sound you're going to hear. Or maybe it's just going to be nothing. Anything that happens, that's okay. Because what you have done is you've opened yourself up to listening to the heart, to saying, well, maybe my heart does have a message. Maybe there is a message from my heart. And so those are some of the things that for this week I would really focus on, is asking your heart daily in the morning. Because that's in the morning time, our conscious mind isn't quite awake yet. So that gives us a better opportunity to really tune into our intuition, tune into our heart, tune into our higher self, our higher mind, and just, breathing in the morning, taking those through, 3 deep breaths, letting it out, and then just asking. And you don't have to have your hand over your heart. I just find it very helpful. And just, if my heart had a message for me, what would it be? Or if love had a message for me, what would it be? And just letting whatever comes to you, come to you, allowing yourself that feeling, allowing yourself that time. And that's another key thing when we're listening to our hearts, is to pay attention to the emotion. How are we feeling? Is there a sense of, hurry? Is there a sense of hesitation? Is there a sense of intrepidation? Because if there's any of that, or even second guessing yourself, you are not listening to your heart. You are listening to what your mind thought your heart would be saying. And there is a big difference there. Our heart speaks like our intuition does, and it speaks very clearly, very concisely, very directly, and very peacefully, very calmly, very lovingly. And it's not always going to be what you think it should be. Sometimes we want the answer to be one thing. So maybe we'll do this exercise and we're like, okay, I want to know if this person is the right person for me. My heart says, and maybe you're feeling really good in that moment. You're just like, oh my gosh, I'm in this feeling of euphoria, of love, and I want to make sure that this is the right person for me. And so you put your hand over your heart and you're like, my heart says, and there's this immediate yes, and you're just like, oh yes, this is the right person. Well, it could be the right person for the right moment, for this moment. But if we calm down a minute, really center ourselves and come back to that center, come back to peace, setting our goal not as getting an answer, but as setting our goal as my goal is peace. And then asking from there, because I've had people be like, oh, well, I've listened to my heart before and it's only gotten me in trouble. Your heart's guidance is never going to get you in trouble. Your heart's guidance is going to reveal to you what it is that either you need to release in the way of a judgment, a story, whatever that may be, or your heart is leading you towards expansion and new experiences. We have to remember that love is loving, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to run up against some obstacles, because remember, the world is not happening to you, it's happening from you. And so we are constantly looking at our past thoughts, our past beliefs, our past projections. So just because we're now engaging with our heart, we're still going to be running into those thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and perceptions and projections that we've put out into the world. Coming into our heart is going to allow us to navigate those more easily and effortlessly. It doesn't mean we're not going to have quote unquote, triggers and things come up. They're going to come up. but we're going to be able to respond to them from love and see what they are really representing from love's perspective. Love will always tell us the truth of a situation, not necessarily the truth we want or the truth we think we want, but the real truth of it. Even if it's, maybe you have a boss who's just a real piece of work, we'll say, and they are just constantly harping on you, constantly, on your back. And so you just, in that moment, you're just like, what does my heart say? What is my heart really telling me about this situation? Well, I must believe that, everyone is separate from me. I must believe my life is terrible. I must believe this. I must, all of these beliefs, all of these stories. And the heart's going to reveal that to you. But again, you have to be willing to listen. And that is the biggest key here. The heart listens in the moment. The heart listens with acceptance. And the heart is always listening for that undercurrent of love. Even if the mind isn't aware of it, even if the mind is like, this person is, being very rude, very disrespectful. Again, that rude and disrespectful is just a call for love. It doesn't mean we're condoning the action. It doesn't mean we're like, oh, it's okay. You can yell at me and be all mean to me. Not at all. It just means we recognize where this behavior is coming from and that this behavior is not a reflection of that person. In truth, it is merely a projection of a call for love. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here. Keep these things in mind this week as you go throughout the week, and I'll talk with you soon.